This doesn't happen with other politicians not named Donald Trump. It doesn't happen. If Jerry Connolly gave a rally speech, if he did some videos on YouTube to update people on what's happening in D.C., how do you think that would fare? What if Chuck Schumer did it? What if Hakeem Jeffries did it? Okay, so here, I'll show you some of the stuff here. This is one of the pictures. Absolutely packed in there. I also have some videos for you. Here's one video. This one was in Iowa City. Look at this. People are desperate on the left for a leader. People want somebody who's going to give us the vision, give us the policy agenda, fight back against Trump and Elon and MAGA and all of their insanity. And look, he's coming through. He's coming through. So here, I'll give you some of the article that I got some more videos for you, but this is in Common Dreams. Thousands in Midwestern GOP districts attend Sanders' first stops on tour to fight oligarchy. Quote, "It's like there's only one person who is actually able to sidestep the demoralization and frustration," said one observer. After addressing more than 3,400 Nebraska residents in Omaha Friday evening, U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders on Saturday made his second stop on his national tour to fight oligarchy, telling Iowa residents that Trumpism will not be defeated by politicians inside the D.C. Beltway. For better or worse, that is not going to happen, said the Vermont independent senator, whose broadly popular policy proposals have long been dismissed by Democratic leaders as unrealistic and radical, while President Trump has increasingly captured the attention of the working class Americans who would benefit most from Sanders' ideas. Quote, "It will only be defeated by millions of Americans in Iowa, in Vermont, in Nebraska, in every state in this country who come together in a strong grassroots movement and say no to oligarchy, no to authoritarianism, no to kleptocracy, no to massive cuts to programs the low-income and working Americans desperately need, no to huge tax breaks for the wealthiest people in this country." The senator announced his tour earlier this month as Elon Musk, the head of Doge, bought the government, bought Trump's campaign, bought the administration, illegally hacking in and stealing government data, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, this article goes on, but here, let me show you what it was like when he walked into one of the events. This one, again, is in Omaha, Nebraska. Watch this, guys. Look, we got to call it what it is. This is Bernie's moment, because what we're witnessing is the culmination of everything he said was going to happen. It's happening. It's come to pass, right? You have the oligarchs, the robber barons, the billionaires, the kleptocrats. They have taken over. That's what Elon Musk represents. That's what Peter Thiel represents. That's what Mark Andreessen represents. That's what Mark Zuckerberg represents. When Trump was giving his inauguration speech, he was surrounded by the robber barons. They had better seats than his own cabinet members. They're illegally hacking into our government programs and deleting ones they don't want, like the CFPB and the Education Department. And at the same time, Trump, foreign policy-wise, has gone full 1800s imperialist, full colonialist. He's literally trying to do colonial extraction from Ukraine and saying, give us 50% of your natural resources from now until forever. Look at how he says we're going to own Gaza. Look at how he says we're going to do war with Mexico. We're going to steal Panama. We're going to coup Venezuela. I mean, the list goes on. Iran, war with Iran. So he's been right. He's been right every step of the way. He was a leader then, he's leading now, and it feels more like his moment than ever because the grassroots enthusiasm for somebody who's fighting back is immense. And the other thing is, what separates him from so many others, guys, is that he has a narrative. He has a story to tell, right? The MAGA story is very simple and very straightforward. Hey, blame the immigrants for all your problems. Blame the trans people for all your problems. We hate liberals and leftists, and they're also the problem. They have a story, and everything they say fits into that narrative. Fuck the immigrants, fuck the trans people, fuck the liberals and leftists. Everything they say builds towards that agenda and that ideology and those arguments. It is a story that you tell people. I know your life sucks. Here's why. And on the Democratic side, unfortunately, many Democratic politicians, even though they have way better policies than the average Republican, they don't tell a compelling story. It's very like technocratic. We're going to make these tweaks around the edges. Everything's kind of already okay, so chill out. Like, that's the vibe you get from most Democrats. Bernie has a counter narrative. He has a counter story, which is captivating, which moves people. And Bernie's story is, the problem is not trans people and immigrants. The problem is not liberals and leftists. The problem and the reason why your life sucks, it's the robber barons. It's corporations. It's money in politics. It's corruption. They've bought our government, and now the government only represents the wealthy and not you. That's why you're struggling. And that's a better narrative, and it also happens to be true. It happens to be accurate. And so that's why you're seeing he's 83 years old, yo. He's 83 years old, and he's the leader of the Democrats. You know, and look, we've all seen it since the election results. How many times have you seen liberals who were in trench warfare against the Bernie movement multiple times? All of a sudden, they're all going, you know what? You know what? He is the only one leading right now. He is the only one fighting MAGA effectively. He is the only one providing a counter narrative. Turns out he was kind of right about a lot of stuff. I mean, look at the oligarchs and the robber barons literally stealing our government from us. Look at what they're doing, cutting cancer research, cutting the anti-scam police, cutting the Department of Education, firing flight safety officials at the same time that planes are falling out of the air. So I'm not done. I told you a lot of these videos that he's posting are getting literally millions of views. Millions of views. This is what leadership looks like. Here's one of the segments from not that long ago.
I do not often find myself in the habit of thanking Elon Musk, but I must confess that he has done an exceptional job of demonstrating a point that a few of us have been making for years, and that is the reality that we live in an oligarchic society in which billionaires dominate not only our politics and the information we consume from media, but our government and economic lives as well. That has never been clearer than it is today. But given the news and attention Mr. Musk has been getting over the last few weeks as he illegally and unconstitutionally dismantles government agencies, I think it is an appropriate time to ask the question that the media and most politicians don't seem to be asking. What do he and other multi-billionaires really want? What is their endgame? In my opinion, what Musk and those around him are aggressively striving for is not novel, it is not complicated, and it is not new. It is what ruling classes throughout history have always wanted and have always believed is theirs by right. More power, more control, and more wealth. And they don't want ordinary people, that's you, and democracy getting in their way. They want it all. Elon Musk and his fellow oligarchs believe government and laws are simply an impediment to their interests and what they are entitled to. In pre-revolutionary America, before the 1770s, the ruling class governed through a doctrine called the divine rights of kings. The belief that the King of England was an agent of God and he was not to be questioned by mere mortals. In modern times, we no longer have the divine right of kings. What we now have is an ideology being pushed by the oligarchs, which says that as very, very wealthy people, often self-made, often as the masters of revolutionary new technology, it is their absolute right to rule. In other words, these modern-day oligarchs are our kings. And it is not just power, it's incredible wealth that they have. Today, Mr. Musk is worth $402 billion. Zuckerberg is worth $252 billion. Bezos is worth $249 billion. With combined wealth of over $900 billion, these three people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society. Not surprisingly, since Trump was elected, their wealth has soared. Musk has become $138 billion richer. Zuckerberg has become $49 billion richer. And Bezos has become $28 billion richer, all since Election Day. Meanwhile, while the very rich become much richer, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paychecks. 85 million are uninsured or underinsured. 25% of seniors are trying to survive on $15,000 a year or less. 800,000 are homeless, and we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. Do you think for 1 second that the oligarchs give a damn about working people? Trust me, they don't. Musk's decision to dismember USAID means that tens of thousands of the poorest people around the world will go hungry or die of preventable